Takeaway from the cameraman. Snooze or you lose.
Snooze or you lose. See, I don't claim myself making a South Indian biryani. In India, as you rightly said, so many varieties of biryani is made, different kind from every state. If you go and ask them, different versions of biryani. So if you go by eyeball, you're not going to get the same taste, but you have to go by precision of grams and milligrams. And even when you cook, you need to know, how long it needs to be at this temperature, then you'll be able to reproduce the same quality of a product. So if you don't focus on simple things, right, you will mess up this business. It's kind of like a saying, you snooze, you lose. Got to be, it's very important, very critical for you, to spend time. And without the support of family, without the support of your friends, you cannot do well in this business. Hello everyone, welcome to How We Started. This is the show where we bring entrepreneurs who've been exactly where you are, thinking about taking that first leap of faith, starting their own business, or have been thinking about this business for quite a while and wants to start. This is the show that's going to bring you valuable insights so that you can go from 0 to 1 and take that first step. And in today's episode, we have with us Robin, who started Robin's Kitchen in Mississauga in Ontario, Canada, serving delicious biryani for all over people in Ontario and Canada, and not just that, in USA as well. Now, if you eat his biryani, it will hit you. But what I really like is not just his food, but the journey that we're going to see today. Somebody who has started his career in the pharmaceutical industry and has jumped from there to cooking biryani at an industrial scale level and spreading the taste of biryani. For people who've considered biryani as emotion, this is the place that you gotta come and have it. But more interestingly, look up for all those business points that he's going to be able to give you today so that you, if you're thinking about starting or scaling from your home business to an industry unit, this is the show that you're going to have to stick along from now to the end. All right, let's start today's show. Hello, Robin. Welcome to How We Started. We are very happy to have you here.
Happy to be here as well, Pranay.
Okay, so for the benefit of our viewers, let me start with something that I know about you. I was told that you started your career in pharma industry, and then now you have started Robin's Kitchen. That's a big shift from pharma to food industry. Did that happen by accident, or was it like a big shift that was planned over a period of time?
Well, I started this business not as a big plan or anything, and I love to cook, and I've been cooking, from childhood days. I would say from the age of 6. Not a business person. Business was never in my mind, but I did this thing, for an individual whom I met at park. Okay, and this is exactly how the journey started.
Okay, great. So it's really amazing to see how somebody that you've met by accident kindled that long living interest in you to actually cook. And then when you found that there was demand, it actually brewed into a beautiful business of actually catering to people of Mississauga, that the city that's beloved in Ontario, Canada. Excellent. So I'm a South Indian and I love eating all cuisines, but within South Indian as well, for people who don't know, there are so many dishes. Why specifically biryani? Why did biryani speak to you? And how did you kind of do your market research before you landed up saying that, hey, I'm going to cook biryani and I'm going to cook it so perfectly and excellently that people will come to me when it talks about biryani?
Well, my background is pharmaceuticals and quality, and I'm part of a department called validation. So when you do something and you come out with the best quality, I would say that accidentally you did that. Right? Might be a great taste, that food. And the second time I go to the same place and you cook and give it to me, hey, I spend a lot of time and here you go. And I will taste that food and I will still say, Praveen, maybe this happened incidentally. And you have to prove me because, I come from that particular background. So the third time you have to cook and you have to prove it to me. If it's of the same taste, I can tell you yes, Praveen, this is kind of, you have a recipe, and this is a perfect way of cooking. So with biryani, with so many restaurants throughout Mississauga, Brampton, and GTA, my experience over 25 years, I would say it is most of the restaurants is hit or miss. You go have a biryani one time with your family, it's nice. And the next time you go, it's not the same taste. And then you go back after a year, maybe it's completely a different taste, because you ask them, they'll say, we changed the recipe, we changed the cook, chef is gone. So many challenges are there. So I've been, brought up, from a place called Chennai, Georgetown, where it comes to biryani, I would say, since childhood days, biryani is emotion, biryani is joy, biryani is happiness, biryani is celebration, biryani is a sentiment or sensation or an emotion or celebration, a big party event, biryani is there, right? So any event you go and you can be excited, and you know that there is a biryani there, right, as part of their food. So 30 years ago, everything was organic. So when you go and select tomato or any other ingredients, we just had only one type of tomatoes. Right now, we are in hybrid society. So they bring 10 different varieties of tomatoes. We have so many green chilies. So cost factor is there. In order to, get the best food, whether it's biryani or any other food, selection of ingredients is very important. And there comes the cost. So people might not be able to bring the same taste, right? So that's a big challenge for most of the restaurants, because markup is there. So coming from the validation side, when I was trying to taste these food, and I could able to clearly understand, they are missing something. They're missing, the validation. They're missing the same recipe, the same ingredients. Something is missing there. That's when I started, working on my own recipe. And I don't do eyeball. My entire recipe, everything is goes by grams and milligrams, and we go by family. When I select something, it's a family of ingredients. I don't deviate from that particular family of vegetables or meat or anything. So this is a keen interest, And when there, I couldn't able to find a good biryani in the market. Once and twice, it's been going on for a while, and that's when, all the background stories I said brought me to this whole interest of why I wanted to get into this biryani business.
Okay. So it kind of sounds to me that cooking is science, but cooking biryani is a science at another level. And if somebody is tasting good biryani, that did not happen by accident. That's because people like you behind the scenes have decided to put in that formula to make sure, whether it's by trial and error or doing it like a 500 or 1,000 times, that the biryani tastes the way it tastes and it can be maintained in the same way, which is brilliant. It sounds to me like a science experiment.
Thank you.
So could you tell us the initial days of your Robin's Kitchen, back when you started cooking it from your basement, I would guess. So how did that happen? Were there any mistakes that you actually did? And how did you learn? And what are the valuable lessons that you can share with our viewers?
I would say, nothing was planned that I have to be in this business, right? So it all started, with my friends whom I don't know much about them. I met them in park. They threw a party. I made a biryani. And then the following week, they asked me, can you make some batch of biryani? When all the doors were closed, all the restaurants were closed, and we were not supposed to go and meet people and have a gathering, anything in the public area. So that itself was a challenge. And then I am not used to business. My parents or both the sides were not into business. So these were challenges actually. I'm new to the business. The only good thing, from my side is I love to, cook, and I love to, share food with my friends. That's been going on here for years and years. So the challenges, I would say, it started, making 5 kg of biryani first week, and then quickly it grew the next week into 10 kgs and 20 kgs, 30 kgs. Some of the challenges were, people lining up outside because COVID time.
Yeah.
So they were not supposed to, line up outside because this is not right. And then I had to, have a meeting spot where a lot of parking area would be there. So I decided, I asked them to come to No Frills and Food Basics parking. So I used to go wearing a mask, they'd be wearing a mask, and go drop the biryani to them and come back. So some of the challenges. I would say I don't look at these things as challenges because I see every adversity hides an opportunity. I don't look any of these things as challenges, I would say, Praneet. So I would say these are blessings to me.
Okay, excellent. So for viewers who don't know what Food Basics or No Frills is, it's like a shopping mall over here. Again, during COVID, we had a lot of restrictions. So I think that was one of the ways that you could actually meet them and give it. So excellent. The first few days of a business is always challenging for many people, right? That's like a make or break. How are those first few days for you? What kind of mistakes did you do and what did you learn from that?
So the initial phase, I would say, I used to make 4 or 5 kgs of biryani and serving 5 people. And then from 5, it just grew up, to 10 kgs of biryani. And then the following week, it went to 20 kgs, right? When you're doing biryani for your home, that's a different thing. But when you're doing it to the commercial level, when you're moving to 10 kgs or 20 kgs, it's always a challenge. So you're doing it from home because your stove, the cooking stove, it has a capacity. It only has a capacity of 2000 BTUs. Right? Where 2000 BTUs, in order to cook a batch, 15 kgs or 20 kgs of batches, it would take a lot of time. So these are some of the challenges to begin with. But I wouldn't say that these are challenges. I would say every adversity hides an opportunity. I look at these things as a learning curve. And I thought, okay, from this, what have I learned? Maybe I need to start things a little bit early. So if I have to make, 20 kgs of batches, I need to start a little bit early in order to, to finish this batch on time and serve it to the people.
Okay, excellent. So I think you went in with a game plan, but there are certain things that you learned along the way. For example, the equipment size or the infrastructure ability, which as you scaled up was something that you thought could have been better, but nevertheless, you have planned for it now. So it's great learnings. And I think it also proves that you're a person of documentation. So you also documented in terms of what needs to be changed. Am I right?
Absolutely, yeah. My entire cooking, we don't do eyeball. So if you come to my place, my kitchen is like a lab, right? So whatever we do, everything is documented. And we have scales. And every step what we do is documented. So what I believe is if you don't document your step, then you won't be able to bring the same quality of food, the same taste of food, what I mean to say there. So if you go by eyeball, if you say, take 2 tomatoes or 5 onions and dice it and cook, you're not going to get the same taste. But you have to go by precision of grams and milligrams. And even when you cook, you need to know, how long it needs to be at this temperature. These are things which I call it as critical parameters. Once you map these parameters and once you document and once you know the time, then you'll be able to, reproduce the same quality of a product. Same quality of biryani, I would say.
Excellent. So again, this goes on to prove what can't be measured cannot be improved. And your statement was a testament to that.
Absolutely, because if you, there is a beautiful word in English called insanity. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, and you are expecting for a different results. So that's not the thing when it comes to biryani. So biryani, it needs to be predictable, right? So when you start your batch, you need to predict, what you're going to get. So in order to have a predictable results, your process need to be validated. In order to have a validated recipe, you need to have all those documentation done properly in order to get a same taste. Right.
Good. So yes, you started out, you had a lot of demand for biryani, but we are living in the Greater Toronto area, which has a diverse population. People from all around the world are here. So when you started it off and when you're gauging demand, how did you analyze demand? And also, just from India, we have so many people here and from South Asia who like to eat biryani. How did you educate them in terms of what a South Indian biryani should taste and why your South Indian biryani is one of the best?
Yeah. See, I don't claim myself making a South Indian biryani. Okay. I want to remove that tagline because I make Indian version of biryanis. The reason is in India, as you rightly said, so many varieties of biryani is made. Different kind from every state. If you go and ask them, different versions of biryani. But two key factor here is, the ratio of tomatoes and the ratio of onion. Down south, if you go in Tamil Nadu and if you go to even Bangalore and some part of Mysore, the ratio of tomatoes and onion are same. Almost same, I would say. But if you go to Hyderabad and then down, if you go towards North India, they don't use tomatoes at all. And some places they use very limited amount of tomatoes. They use barista. It's freshly fried onions, and then they have yogurt. They have other ingredients. They marinate the meat, and they cook it in a low temperature. Then they mix it up with layers of rice, and that's exactly how they cook. So there's a big difference between North Indian and South Indian. Again, to your question, I don't make a South Indian version of biryani. I make, an Indian style of biryani to cater both the crowds, North Indian as well as, South Indian crowd.
Excellent. Yeah. Now that's an eye opener for me. So basically, if you're anywhere from South Asia and if you like to eat biryani, and if I come to Robin's Kitchen, I would be amazed because I will get exactly the biryani that I had grown up eating back home.
Exactly.
So right now we are sitting in your new industrialized kitchen, if I could call it, and you've scaled from actually starting preparing biryani for 5 people at home to a place where you can actually do it for 1,000 people, for example, right? At what point in time did you decide that, hey, I want to scale up, I want to go and have an industrial unit for myself? What is those metric points which made you push yourself to scale up?
Basically, I would say, nothing was planned, Praveen. Everything was based on the demand.
Okay.
Right. I was praying, sincerely praying, or, show me some sign, because business is not my domain, right? I'm moving from pharma to an industry where I'm not so much used to, right? A restaurant, catering, I'm not used to it.
Right.
So, but God has blessed me, to be in this industry. I was waiting and I was growing, from 5 kgs, 10 kgs, 20 kgs. I knew the moment I hit 200 kgs, okay, this is the time I need to, I cannot be cooking from home. So coming from validation side, although I'm good in scale up, although I'm good in utilizing my time starting on early, but however I don't have control over the stuff because it can only go up to 2000 BTUs.
Right.
Whereas the commercial stoves which we are using, that has a potential of 25,000 BTUs, which is 10 times more. So that's when I thought there's a time I need to move from home to the commercial side.
Excellent. I'm happy that the demand was super outpouring that you decided. In fact, I wish we could show this while we're talking, but it's a beautiful location that you've got and very well designed. So we are all looking forward to that, eating that wonderful biryani that you always used to cook from your home to now in this unit. So now that you've started this industry unit, were there any government grants or immigrant or startup programs in the city of Ontario in the province of Ontario that you actually made use of? Can you give any tips for our viewers who are looking for such programs that could help them start up such a unit?
So I tell you, the government of Canada, they really help a small business, but you need to build that credibility. When I'm just saying credibility, you need to build a book of business, and you need to stand good with banks, and also you need to go and register yourself that you're running a business. What people they do is they start the business from home. They don't want to register the business. So all they think is, okay, let me succeed. Like after 3 years or 4 years, let me think about registering. I did the other way. So when I started this business, okay, whether I'm going to go to the next level or not, I need to do things, as per the books. So I went and registered my business, and good thing happened is when I went approached the bank, they said, minimum you should have done this business for 3 years. I said, yes, I've been doing this business for 3 years. Do you have any proof? Here, go. I have my, this is my registered business, right? An article of business is here. And I was just paying my taxes. I was doing everything. So it really helped me, to get the small business loan from the bank.
Okay, got it. So for the viewers that are actually watching this, I think the most important takeaway is make sure you do everything by the books. The minute you start your business, including registrations, keeping your accounts, so that when you actually decide to scale up into a full-scale industrial unit or bigger than what you are, it will give you that credibility financially and also personal credibility when you're asking for a financial help to the bank.
Absolutely.
Okay, excellent. Very good point. I'm not sure that we got this point from a lot of people, but this is definitely of value. When you have now scaled up to an industrial unit from being a home-based business, what are the financial challenges you face? And also we would like to understand what's your day-to-day daily schedules going to look like, whether you're like working double the time that you used to work. How does that look like?
Praveen, you need to foresee things in advance, foresee some challenges, I need to say. So when I started this business, how it go, from 5 kgs to 10 kgs, right? How it grow. And I went through those challenges. I was prepared, and I know what to foresee, when you're growing. Similarly, when a true businessman, when they're getting into a business, when the business is growing, there is some fine intuition will be reminding them what they need to do, what they need to focus on. The very important thing is the metrics, how much they are selling it for and how much profit they are getting. Those things, the calculation needs to be there in the fingertips. Some people, they're emotionally, they want to have a good quality food, everything. But are they getting profitable here or not? Because food industry is a number one industry where a possibility to fail is more likely. So they have to be very, very careful, to know the metrics, where they stand, and how much is the cost of making a food and how much profit are they getting. It's very important.
Got it. So you have to make sure that you do a financial risk analysis every quarter, you would say?
Absolutely. Okay. I would say every, not even quarterly, every week you should know. every week you should sit and you should analyze, how much you sold, how much you spent, and how much you paid to your labor. You need to be, thorough with your metrics. How much, you spent, all those things, and how much profit you made.
So are you a person, if you're doing such an analysis, that writes down each and every penny that goes out of your pocket?
Absolutely, 100%. You need to do that. So it goes both the ways. When you're growing from a small business, trust me, you're not going to make a big profit, right? Because the batch size are very small, and every business people will know. Only when your volume it goes up, then your profit will go up too. But you need to understand, you need to have that patience. It's kind of it's not a short distance run. It's kind of a marathon, right? You keep doing the same thing over and over again, right? Without compromising the quality. You think that, I have to build that credibility. I'm not looking for a great profit. Now, little profit. And I want to keep working on it. Okay. So you have that patience, you'll be able to build that profile, and then you can see that good profit.
Understood. Okay, Robin. So as someone who's taken this path of actually growing a business from a home-based cloud kitchen to such a big industrial unit, have you been mentored by someone? And also in the future, there are a lot of foodpreneurs out there who wants to take that first step, right? Are you opening to mentor that someone who wants to start?
Yeah. Have anyone taught me about this business? No one has taught me. I went and kind of asked few people out of curiosity how to open this business. Nobody was willing to do that for me. The second question is, will I be able to mentor people? I'm 100% open to a mentor, and I don't see anyone as my competitor. If they are a good ability to run a business, and if they are quality conscious, and if God has written business in their life, and they will eventually be successful, I'll be more than happy, to meet them.
Okay, excellent. We don't have many people that is willing to mentor people. In fact, same thing happened in your life experience as well. But we are happy that you're open. Again, for viewers, we will be making sure that we have episodes in the future, and we have a program in the future where we are going to have successful business entrepreneurs like Robin have a mentoring session. So watch out for that. So you're running this successful business, and it might look all hunky-dory from the front, but behind it's a huge hustle. So it's such kind of a hustle. How do you take care of your well-being, your mental health? And is there like a go-to person that will help you strategize your business, or even for that matter, help you with able to talk to them so that you can have your well-being in check?
I would say more than a mentor, family is the key thing, Pravi. If you're blessed with a good family, if you're blessed with a good spouse, that is the beginning. And if you're blessed with a good daughter and son, because it's a huge sacrifice, it's a huge gamble, because a lifestyle change, because it's kind of, you need to, spend 24/7 into this business. So if you don't focus on simple things, right, you will mess up this business. It's kind of like a saying, you snooze, you lose. Got to be, it's very important, very critical for you, to spend time. And without the support of family, without the support of, your friends, you cannot, do well in this business.
Actually, that's a great answer. Family is everything. And again, it goes back to prove that behind every successful person, the spouse always stands by. So Robin, we are almost inching towards the end of our beautiful episode. But I wanted to ask you, if today, sitting in where you are sitting, and if you have to write a letter to the Robin that started in 2020s, what is that letter going to tell the Robin in the past?
I thoroughly enjoyed this journey, I would say. So the happiness, what I acquired during my initial career phase, I was very happy. But when I served the food to people, especially when the doors were closed, right, the happiness what I perceived, from the customers, And the happiness what I received, where they said, we enjoyed your biryani, and it's a time where all the restaurants were closed, right? That joy and the way how my customers have received this food, and the repeated customers where they were just, coming back and back, and then the way how the message spread across, and from Mississauga to Brampton to Oakville, and then Niagara Falls, and now it is going outside, to United States. People coming from states, coming here, picking up food, and then taking it there. It's a sheer joy, I would say. If I have to write a letter to myself, I would say, great job.
That's awesome. Thank you, Robin. Today has been a real pleasure. A lot of personal learnings for me from your journey, and I'm sure our viewers as well took a lot of takeaways from this. Thank you for your time and valuable inputs.
Thank you, Praveen.
Hey viewers, if today's show really lit a fire in you, and if you had a good liking towards our valuable content, like, share, and subscribe How We Started, and follow us. And if you had any questions you want us to ask our future guest, please go ahead and put that on the comments, and we will be sure to ask them to our future guests, because business is good. Starting a business is great, but it's not just about that. It's about having that grit and perseverance to go forward. And we want to make sure that we help you, give you those insights so that one day you can be in How We Started as well, talking to other viewers. And until next episode, keep growing and keep starting. Take care.